I f***ing loved Guyver back in the 90s. I watched the Biobooster Armor anime series probably around 1994 when I was 14. A friend of mine had them on VHS and I was enthralled by it. That and Akira opened my eyes to the incredible world of anime. I stumbled across the 1994 movie Guyver Dark Hero on VHS a couple of years later, and I thought it was awesome. But that's a sequel to this film, so I watched them in the wrong order. I suspect a lot of other folk were aware of the sequel before this one too, because this was a bit of a flop. It slipped under the radar, and despite costing 4 or 5 times more than the sequel, it's regarded as the poorer of the 2 live-action films. I honestly can't remember seeing this at the video store, but if I had, after looking at the cover, I'd have been like, holy shit, Luke Skywalker is the Guyver. But no, I'm not the first to point out the slightly misleading cover art, and I won't be the last. Mark Hamill is in it. He's not the Guyver, but he does become this.
I am a Jedi.
Both this and the sequel are considered cult classics, but does it deserve that title? Of course it does. It's a sci-fi adventure featuring a race of monster aliens who created humanity to be the ultimate weapon. But let's look a bit deeper. The film starts with a text crawl, a bit like Star Wars, but unlike Star Wars, we don't even need to bother to read this one because a voiceover narrates the whole thing.
They created mankind.
It sets up the backstory for anyone not familiar with the premise of Guyver. The main bullet points being, aliens created mankind, some humans are Zoenoids, they can turn into monster soldiers. The Zoolord is the boss of the Zoenoids. He created Kronos, not the Klingon homeworld. Kronos is a big nasty corporation hell-bent on world domination. They have a Guyver unit, an alien artifact that gives humans an organic suit of armor with special powers, only nobody knows how to activate it. A research scientist at Kronos realizes that if the Zoolord figures out how to activate the Guyver unit, he will be unstoppable, and that might not be a good thing. So he's nicked it in the hope that it won't be used for bad stuff. I may as well have just played the entire text crawl. Anyway, it seems like the Guyver unit employs Harry Potter wand rules. It's not you who activates the Guyver unit, it's the Guyver unit who chooses who can activate it. And a student who just happens to be the love interest of the scientist's daughter finds the unit. But not before this happens. The first time we see a Zoenoid transformation, it's impressive, and I mean seriously impressive. This film has flaws, it has lots of them, but the visual effects are not one of them. The first, well technically second, human to Zoenoid transformation still impresses today. In fact, this is the 4th time I've said impressive in the last few seconds. It involves several different heads, pulsating skin, and the metamorphosis is enhanced by the sound of bone cracking, tissue and sinew reshaping. It sounds impressive. And it should look impressive. It's the directorial debut of Screaming Mad George, the special effects artist who's been involved primarily with horror features, and it was co-directed by Steve Wang, the visionary makeup artist. It was produced by Brian Usner, a longtime collaborator with Screaming Mad George. That trifecta of talent know about visual effects, they know about maximizing a low budget, and they have a real passion for practical horror. Now this isn't a horror film, but if you didn't know it and were shown a few select clips, you'd assume it was. The source material, the Guyver manga series, is violent, and the sequel to this film would be R-rated in America, 15 over here, but this is a PG-rated movie. That explains why I never saw this at the video store. My friend's mum worked at the local video store, so we could rent whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted to watch it. Our selection process was typically, it should be at least a 15, funny is good, boobs are better. I've matured since then. I would have glanced past this kids' film, only it's not a kids' film, is it? Or maybe it is. The film holds back with violence and horror, but not that much. It cuts away from any major scenes of gore, but we do see a bit of bloodshed. We do see body horror, and the fantastic sound effects fill in a lot of the visual gaps. But I wouldn't class this as a kids' film. If it went all out with horror and embraced the violence, I think this would have secured itself as a solid video rental, but it exists in the limbo between kids and adult entertainment. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had been released a year before, and the sequel was released the same year as this. So the family market for creature effects martial arts type films was fairly well served. This wasn't even called Guyver, it was called Mutronics, over here anyway. Not that I suspect many people in the UK were particularly au fait with Guyver at the time, but it may at least have caught the eye of those like me who were browsing the video store and familiar with the excellent anime series.
Enzyme.
Elements of this do feel childish. A rapping henchman, some overacting which feels like it belongs in a trauma film, some slightly clumsy moments where some fights seem underwhelming, and Zoenoids sometimes just seem to stand there rather than just go for it. You're never convinced any Zoenoids are ever going to win any fights against the Guyver, because they're just shit at fighting. They're just there to look cool then get beaten up. The sound effects are fantastic during the graphic transformation scenes, but the sounds feel over the top when they're used for every little movement. It sounds like a kid's cartoon, or a camp martial arts flick.
Shut up!
The film also makes use of transition wipes, with a jaunty sound effect. Most of the characters are completely forgettable. They don't stick in your head, other than David Gale, who is the acting highlight of this film as the Zoolord, Fulsome Balkas. He owns every scene he's in and brings tension to a film which otherwise really lacks drama. There's an unease whenever he appears. He's charismatic, sinister, and that's what you want from a baddie. Michael Berryman has made his name as an unforgettable face.
It's me.
And looks great as Liska, who's meant to be a senior Zoanoid, but other than looking good, the character feels a bit dumb. Like I say, you just don't take the Zoanoids seriously. They just seem to be moderately stronger than humans, and can be thwarted by the lightest tap on the head with a microscope. Cult film fans, like me, will grin at the appearance of Jeff Coombs, who must have been contractually obliged to appear in nearly every straight-to-video film in the 80s and 90s. They'll grin even wider at his name, Dr. East, an obvious nod to his character Dr. West in Reanimator, which also featured David Gale.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill. His appearance in the film does feel a bit odd. I'm sure the $3 million budget was splurged on securing Hamill and doing the special effects, so there was little left over for anything else. I do like his performance here. It's not camp, it's not over the top. I am convinced that he's dishevelled and tired. My only issue with his character is his extremely high-waisted trousers. His belt is practically around his nipples. Interestingly, Mark Hamill's character is looking for the Guyver unit. 20 minutes into this film, What's-His-Face, Sean, turns up at What's-Her-Name's place with the Guyver unit in his bag. If things had gone differently, he could have handed it over there and then, and that would have been the end of the film. Hiya, do you want this Guyver unit I found?
Oh, brilliant. I've been looking for that everywhere.
I'll just leave it here. Bye! A lot of the characters might be forgettable, but it doesn't matter because what you're left with is the awesome bits. The Guyver unit itself looks cool, with the moving string bits. The Guyver suit is awesome. It looks incredible. It's not at all hokey or ridiculous. It's got moving eyepieces, and the steam effect is pretty cool and sells the idea that there's real power behind it. I'm not saying that it's steam-powered, just that there are clearly processes beyond our comprehension going on. Alien processes. The act of creating a live-action suit, which has previously only been seen in manga and anime, must have been tough. Yes, the design already exists, but to make it look tangible and intimidating is another thing. It looks as though it provides good movement too, so the fighting doesn't look stilted. Not from the Guyver anyway. The body horror elements are creepy as fuck. I love them. The eye in the forehead. Oh, and the David Cronenberg-esque scene where Mark Hamill's character mutates into a weird cockroach or something.
It's too late for me, but you've got to stop them. Oh.
It looks like a combination of The Thing, The Fly, and The Fish from Monty Python's Meaning of Life. And the Zoenoids, the physical design is great. They all look unique. That physical transformation by Liska at the beginning is next level fantastic. Sadly, it's never repeated in the film, and some of the transitions either happen off screen or happen like that. The eyes look like eyes, not dead black circles on a white ball. One of them has part of the human skeleton visible on the outside, like an exploded anatomy diagram. The film also manages to cram a lot of Guyver lore into a film which lasts less than an hour and a half. The text crawl at the beginning does a lot of that, but it's effective, and we learn about the weak point of the Guyver suit, the control medal.
You do have a weakness.
It's the ball!
We also learn about the regenerative capabilities of the suit. Plus, we discover that Zoenoids are where we get tales of vampires and werewolves, etc. And as for the Kronos Corporation, it's clearly an anti-capitalist message about corporate power. And I applaud that message. The film has many Easter eggs for pop culture fans. The previously mentioned Jeffrey Combs as Dr. East. This sign for Wang's self-defense is clearly a reference to co-director Steve Wang. Plus, the film makes references to Ninja Turtles and RoboCop.
So you're still chasing Ninja Turtles, huh?
Okay, Mr. RoboCop.
Willard E. Pugh, who's in this film, played the corrupt mayor in RoboCop 2.
No comment! I said I have no comment!
So, is Guyver, stroke Mutronics, worthy of your time? Yeah, it's a below-average film with acting and characters who are largely forgettable. But there's an oddness to it which is mesmerising. It's got humour too, sometimes at the expense of the film as it dilutes the drama.
No smoking.
But some of it made me laugh, like the Jaws theme playing when a spike protrudes from a Zoanoid's chest. And the movie within movie moment, which is as funny as it is dumb.
No, makeup. Over here. The suit looks great. You look terrific, but I need you to be more terrifying. You're a monster.
At the end of the film, Thingamajig says to what's-her-name, "It's all over."
It's all over.
But it's not though, is it? You still have a Guyver unit fused to your body, and you've basically destroyed one leader and one room of an entire global corporation. In my Howard the Duck retrospective, I talk about how the film wasn't quite a kids' film and not quite a film for adults, and this is the same. And like Howard the Duck, this has some stunning special effects. This is worth watching to appreciate the excellent craft of the special effects artists alone. This film relies on the suits, and thankfully, the suits are fantastic. Otherwise, this would be a train wreck of a film. The final big baddie is an amazing use of puppets, stop motion, miniatures, blocking and editing. Basically, every bag of tricks to make a big creature feel big. And it works. I actually watched the end credits just to see if special effects legend Phil Tippett was involved, because it's reminiscent of his work. But he's not mentioned, so I assume he had nothing to do with it. But if you do like the creature effects in this film, I do recommend Arena, which also benefits from the talents of Screaming Mad George and Steve Wang. Anyway, the film takes no time to get going. The text crawl enables the film to establish the timelines and a lot of backstory. The film is never boring. It's frequently subpar, but it's punctuated by some superb visual effects, which really do stand out. Goodbye.
Subscribe, you piece of shit.